Hey guys, thanks for tuning in today. Today we're going to discuss moldy walnuts. You don't, in general, want mold. Sorry, I was talking right by an open window, someone was in there. In general, you don't want mold on your food. It's a big no-no, right? How do I even start this? Let's go over there. Alright, so in here we have lots of baskets, crates, baskets and crates of walnuts. I forage these just off people's lawns and empty lots that have had an old walnut tree. See, they don't grow, English walnuts, they don't grow rogue and wild and natural here. You have to have planted these, and they take about 10 years before you get a nut. Well, being in an environment that the heritage of this land was self-sufficiency, right? So walnuts are great. So they're generally in a square mile. I could find like three walnut trees, and most people find them as an annoyance that they have to clean up in the fall. So that's where I come in. I will clean up your walnuts and crack them and eat them. Hi, Spiky. Oh, that's Lily. Come here, hun. So, yeah. I have an idea of what to do with these as well. These are the husks, the shells. Do we have anything in here? Oh, okay. Okay, let me finish my talking, honey, while I got my thoughts organized. So, the husk does not come off generally if the English walnut tree has a fly husk. Walnut, fly stuff. It doesn't affect the nut, it just makes it so the husk won't fall off. So, and it darkens the shell, which can make the nut taste stronger and more bitter. The camera's right there, honey. So, as I harvest the nuts, I try to get them laid out on a tarp so they can dry really well. And then I will put them in airflow baskets back here to properly dry. Sometimes I'll scrape the husk off. You can see this whole thing, I did not. So, but, you know, even in this whole one, I'm not seeing a whole lot of mold. Okay, so this one's kind of moldy, you can see. So, we had a little sprinkle of rain come through. Anyone else have a garage like this? Dog. So, we had a light sprinkle come through. I had gotten them up off the tarp into all the containers I can find. And they got a little wet. And I didn't realize just how wet they had gotten. Sorry guys. First beautiful day all winter. And so then I said, hey kid, go move those into the garage before they get wet. But they had already gotten wet. And then they sat. Not my whole harvest, just maybe 2 containers. So, of course, they started to mold. My first response was to go and get all the hydrogen peroxide in the house and pour it on the nuts, which didn't cover everything hardly at all. So then let me go get it. So then I go get this container and I put the walnuts in there and I cover it with all of the vinegar that I have in my whole house. We love vinegar for cleaning. I had made a bunch of orange scented vinegar, poured that all in, so it smelled pretty nice. Stay here. Hey, stay. Stay.
Spike. Mom.
Yeah. So, soaked the walnuts in this container with the vinegar, and it did a really good job of killing the mold, softening up the husks, and then I was able to scrape off the husks. And the whole time I'm doing this process with a big tote full of vinegary walnuts, I'll crack open a test batch and see, and the mold really never penetrates inside the shell. So either I caught it soon enough or I caught it soon enough. But that, I mean, there's variables because I'll be cracking a bunch of nuts that the husks fell off naturally and there will be mold inside. So I don't understand how commercial growers with big machinery, you know, the quality control, where I'm cracking each nut one at a time and they have these big machines, things are gonna get through. Anyways. Sure. Go over by the chickens and do it. She's gonna go be a YouTuber.
On her phone.
Okay, go over there. Okay, so this is around Thanksgiving. I was trying to do this much every day, get through it, kind of hard on my back. Anyways, it gets away from me. And I have a batch that sits for about 5 to 7 days, and I'm like, they're gone, they're ruined. So I just gave up. And this tote sat in the laundry room with vinegar and walnuts for 3 more weeks, and then I had a kid move up to the garage. I said, move it somewhere where it won't get in the way. Where do they put it? Right by the door. One day a kid kicked it as he was walking out and it cracked. Now I didn't know what to do at this point, before that point. I was kind of stuck because vinegar, very highly acidic, it's going to kill anything temporarily that you pour it on. So where am I going to pour this vinegar? Down the drain? Down the sidewalk? On the grass? It'll kill the grass. It can if you dump a large enough quantity in a certain spot. So if I had dumped it on a big pile of wood chips, it could have the potential to change the pH in that spot. So I was really leery. And the biggest thing I was worried about is walnuts have a hormone, jugalone or something like that. And it stunts the growth. There's a word for it, of plants, an anti-growth inhibitor. So this is something you consider when you want to plant a walnut tree. Where are you going to put this walnut tree that it won't affect your veggie garden, it won't affect your fruit trees, because it comes out in the leaves and it comes out in the roots and in the husks, you know, less degree. Probably the roots are the biggest sender outer of hormone. Anyway, so this solution that I have sitting here is full of walnut hormone and vinegar. What do I do with it? Walnut also has been used as a stain. The husks you can soak in water and get the stain from it and use that as a clothing dye or a furniture stain. So I was like, I'm gonna stain the sidewalk if I pour it down the sidewalk. I don't know. So I just kind of let it sit there. Anyways, so the kid took care of it for me. He kicked the box on accident. I forgive him. Broke it. Now we have vinegar. So, I don't know if you can see if it's going to show up. There's this stuff all over. It leaked out under the freezer, under the shelf. Yeah, just all over here. So, took care of it for me. Got rid of it. I didn't have to make the decision. I didn't have to make the decision on how to dispose of this toxic material. And I have the walnuts. I'm just going to send them to the dump. They don't... I guess I could drive up to the woods and throw it out there. Maybe a deer will eat. I don't know. I'm just gonna throw it in the dumpster. So, what can you learn from my mistake? Well, hopefully you can learn something good. That this is a way. You can use vinegar to treat mild cases of mold on the outside of your walnuts. If you got mold on the inside, I'm not going to tell you what to do. I just throw it away. Don't mess with that. Anyways, thanks guys. Take care. Grow something today, even if it's yourself. If you see anything in this dumpster, please don't judge. There are people who live here that are not me.